I'm Robin Marsh. Right now, News 9 at 6 a.m. A deadly shooting turns into a standoff at a Bethany apartment complex. Why police say the suspect then ended up being rushed to the hospital. It's ahead on 9.
And I'm Lisa Monahan in for Colby Thielen. The man accused of vandalizing News 9's weather radar is now charged. Why the state attorney general says this is about more than just public safety.
I'm Lacie Lowery. The Pottawatomie County Sheriff supports OHP's plan to pull all of its troopers off metro interstates. Why the sheriff says this will actually benefit rural communities.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good Monday morning, Oklahoma, 6 o'clock. Hope you had a great weekend. Get ready for the heat this week. Stay indoors if you can.
And the
hear
heat
those air
index.
conditioners.
Yeah, triple digits, especially when it comes to the heat index. And Lacey, EMSA has that heat alert for folks. Got to stay hydrated out there.
Yeah, the advisories are out. You got that alert on your News 9 weather app just to let you know, hey, this is something you do have to think about. It can be dangerously hot, especially during peak heating. Heat exhaustion and even heat stroke can be a problem when you get these values. Now, this is what it was like yesterday for your Sunday. If you were out and about at all, you know how hot it fell, up to 113 northeast of Tulsa, 111 in Kingfisher yesterday. There is a bit of a breeze, and that does help keep things moving. That also helps the evaporation process of the sweat on your skin, so it cools you down, but it can cause you to dehydrate quicker. So drink, drink, drink. Water, 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 by the way. Mostly clear skies. Grab the sunglasses this morning. The sunrise is going to be stellar. It's 74 degrees on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. That's our OCCC cam. And on your Monday, these are the temps you're heading out into. Mid-upper 70s. Already warm. Only 80 right now in Buffalo. That's how much you've dipped in northwest Oklahoma after triple digits yesterday. South winds are 10 to 20. That'll help cool you off some, and temperatures will warm into the upper 90s with a heat index of about 103. We'll talk about what to expect with rain chances. They do return again. More storms for your Wednesday, possibly Friday. The very latest your 9-day is coming up.
In Bethany, police say a standoff stems from a deadly shooting in which a woman lost her life. This all unfolded yesterday near Northwest 23rd and Glade. Bethany police say a woman was found shot to death inside a car sitting at an apartment complex. Officers say the suspect then barricaded himself inside one of those apartments. Police say the suspect eventually shot himself. We're told multiple law enforcement agencies were involved.
We're still looking into all of this right now. Even though there's no suspects at large, as you can see, Bethany Police Department, War Acres, the OSBI, we're all working together to continue to, again, see what the exact motive was of this shooting.
It's unclear how the suspect and the victim knew each other. The suspect was taken to the hospital. His name and condition have not been released. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says it will have an update later this morning.
Well, community in Stevens County is mourning the deaths of 2 people who died in a house fire over the weekend. It all happened early Sunday morning in Duncan, which is about an hour and a half south of Oklahoma City. Police tell us one person died at that scene. Another passed away while on the way to the hospital. Right now, the state fire marshal is looking into the cause. No names have been released.
Well, the Oklahoma Attorney General announces charges against the man accused of vandalizing News 9's weather radar. His name, Anthony Tyler Mitchell, is facing 3 counts, including damaging equipment in a critical infrastructure facility. Earlier this month, surveillance video captured Mitchell climbing a fence and damaging the power supply, temporarily knocking News 9's radar offline. The radar's back online now, but the Attorney General said this was much more than vandalism of property and that Mitchell threatened public safety. Anthony Mitchell's bond has been set at $25,000. He is expected to appear in court in the coming weeks. News 9 will be watching. We're watching the roads here at 6:05 on a Monday morning. Megan Gold is in with her eye on traffic. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Robin. We are breaking daylight on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. Clear skies out the door. It is humid. It is warm. It is on the breezy side. Of course, that south wind helping to pump in more of the Gulf moisture. Broadway extension there looking south. Looks good. 73 degrees right now with that south wind with a few gusts to 15 here in the metro. On the west side, if you're coming in from El Reno, it looks great. I-40 and Meridian Folks moving along just fine. Of course, we'll get a little busier here as the morning rolls along, but across the metro, no slowdowns and no accidents on the map. From our Norman cam, there's the sunrise here in just about 25 minutes at 6:30. Your drive times into Oklahoma City from all directions are good to go. More coming up here in a few minutes.
The Pottawatomie County Sheriff says Oklahoma Highway Patrol's plan to pull all of its troopers off metro interstates will benefit his county. In a social media post, Pottawatomie County Sheriff Freeland Wood says the changes will help free up troopers more quickly, allowing them to respond to high priority calls in his county. Well, last week, DPS Commissioner Tim Tipton addressed police department concerns about this move, saying troopers' help was desperately needed more in rural areas.
Of course, the more rural area you get into, a lot fewer police officers and deputies out there, a lot sparser coverage to respond to immediate needs for assistance.
So starting November 1st, troopers will only cover the interstates in rural areas, and that's I-35, I-40, I-44, and that will be 24 hours a day.
Well, the United States Congress takes back billions of dollars for foreign aid and public broadcasting.
Yeah, now PBS and NPR stations here in our state are worried the decision will impact their services. News 9's Matt McCabe reports from the newsroom.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting will lose $1.1 billion in funding. Oklahoma's public radio and TV stations say there will be gaps in their own budgets.
For nearly 60 years, public radio and TV has had the support of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. KOSU in Oklahoma City will lose roughly 11% of its budget due to new cuts approved by Congress.
We suspected that public broadcasting may be one of the targets.
Rachel Hubbard is the executive director at KOSU. She also serves on the board of NPR, which she clarifies is a separate operation.
KOSU is a locally owned and operated station, as are the nearly 1,000 other public radio stations across the country. It's really about whatever that local community needs.
In Oklahoma, KOSU puts special attention toward covering rural and indigenous communities. Senator James Langford says this decision from Congress is not a judgment against programming quality.
No one's opposed to PBS or NPR. Those are voices that are out there and programming that a lot of people like. They'll still be supported by folks.
He says federal funding for public broadcasting isn't as important because of digital streams where people can access emergency information.
There are thousands of options that people have on their phone, on their laptop, on the television. There's lots of streaming services, lots of over-the-air.
But Hubbard says the coverage area her station alone serves represents many people who can't access broadband or internet.
So we're working actively on all of those things that can reduce costs around the margins, because the last thing that I would want to do is cut local news and local service.
Stations are already running campaigns to raise more donations from listeners.
KGOU in Norman says it's still too early to tell how its programming might change, and OETA says it will work with state leaders to measure changes to its budget. In the newsroom, Matt McCabe, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
Now, most public stations in Oklahoma do receive the majority of their budgets from donations.
Well, former Oklahoma Teacher of the Year and 2022 candidate for state superintendent Gina Nelson is announcing she's now running for U.S. Congress. The Democrat candidate will be running against the incumbent Republican Congresswoman Stephanie Bice for Oklahoma's 5th district, which covers the metro.
I just wanted to say that today I am not standing before you as a politician. I am here as a fighter, and I am ready to fight.
So Gina Nelson says her focus will be health care, national security, protecting our veterans, and economic security. The election is November of 2026. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump endorses Congresswoman Stephanie Bice, staying on Truth Social. Bice is doing a fantastic job representing the district. He goes on to say Stephanie has a strong record of success and support from her community.
It's crazy how long the campaigning part is. This race is November of 2026.
More than a year away.
Here we are in July of 25, already having to get
One
into
ends,
it.
and you might as well start for the next one.
Gearing up now.
The process is.
Well, Mother Nature is working overtime too, especially with that heat. Before you go, Lacey.
If you were out yesterday, guys, did you have a good weekend? Were you outside at all?
Yes, it was hot.
Just running to my car, running back into the house.
Just to avoid it, right? Or find a pool. That's what you need to do. The splash pads, the lakes, it's that time of year where summertime in Oklahoma, it is in full swing. We had several rounds of rain off and on last week. This week, we'll still have some opportunities, but hey, not today. Clear skies. So before you go forecast, we're in the mid-70s. We'll be in the upper 90s today with the heat index 103, 104. It's the hottest 9-day of the summer so far. More on those rain chances when they creep back in. Coming up.
Also ahead, severe weather hits parts of the country over the weekend, and a viral video at a Coldplay concert ends in a CEO's resignation. Your top national stories after the break. Hey, this Saturday, come meet the News 9 weather team for the Touch a Truck event at Bob Mills Furniture. The event is 10 a.m. to noon, completely free. Bring your little ones, the whole family. Come say hi to Lacey, David, the entire team, and Storm Trackers. It's this Saturday. It's free, and there's air conditioning included.
Inside, right?
Gotta have that. That was my first question to you, Lacey.
Right, exactly. Where is it? So it's indoors. The thing is that in the parking lot, all the Storm Tracker trucks are out there, which you can see. You can see inside, and if your little ones are like mine, they're just obsessed with big old trucks.
They're fascinating.
It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then the team's inside.
There you
and
go.
we got some really cool t-shirts this year that you're gonna love. A little hint, sneak peek, I don't know if I can say this, but they do have like the News 9 bingo card on
Oh, it
them.
does?
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty
I
cool.
love that
Marketing
we're leaning into that.
knocked it out of the park.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I want to see that bingo
Is Grandma
card.
at the casino on one of them?
I believe that is one of them. Yes. That is okay. I had a job shadow last week. Sweetest thing ever. Abigail from Newcastle came in and hung out with me, and she grew up really, really afraid of severe weather. Her mom was telling me she found the bingo card online and made it into a game with her 13-year-old. I didn't tell her that's not what it was intended for, but she said it helped her during severe weather.
Hey, I love that.
It made her
How
just
fun.
find something fun to do.
We're going to start passing those out then.
Yeah,
I know.
share the love on the t-shirts. We've got to get one.
We've got to get with marketing on that.
We're
That's
pumped.
awesome.
We're
Okay.
pumped. We'll see you Saturday. Today's hot. It's going to be hot the next few days, guys. We're talking really extreme heat now, really off and on through the 1st of August. There is some data that shows slightly cooler temperatures and maybe increased rain chances for that final few days of July into the 1st of August. We'll see if that comes into fruition. In the meantime, skies are completely clear and it is humid on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. So how hot is that humidity going to climb? How high are those heat indices? Well, today up to about 103, 104. The next couple of days, not quite as humid. So the heat advisory is in effect. But the next couple of days, it's still hot. You're not going to really feel a big difference between 98 and 103, but there will be a difference. Winds are up today and tomorrow, and they're not as strong by the end of the week. Heat index up to 103, 104 for the weekend, and then may come down some by the middle to end of next week. Heat advisory there. It is dangerously hot during peak heating today, so make sure you're hydrated. You got to get those electrolytes in early. If you're sweating excessively, hey, that's great. The wind will help cool you off some. That evaporates off your skin, but you got to keep rehydrating as we go through the day. And if you stop sweating, that's when you could get yourself into big time trouble. So listen to your body. Never leave people, of course, or pets, in your vehicle. Light colored, loose fitting clothing. Dress appropriately. No hoodies for the teenagers, please. And then take breaks and find the shady spots when you can. Because a lot of folks, you have to work out in this, and we think about you every year during this time. July and early August is brutal, and it's not just Oklahoma. It's states to the north, back to the south, mid-upper 70s. Last week we were showing you this map, and there were 50s and 60s to the north. Yeah, no more. That heat wave is building. There's a storm system with the boundary draped off to the east with our flood advisories. Very slow-moving moisture. Cold front to the north won't make it, and we're still watching the monsoonal flow back over New Mexico. And that actually creeps into portions of the Texas Panhandle today. May bring a little rain into our northwest counties. Skies are clear. It is humid on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. It is 74 at Will Rogers. You get up to Edmond. For the Village, 78. Bethany, good morning. Starting a new work week at 77 degrees. Hera, 77. Shawnee, 75. It is 80 in Buffalo, 76 in Clinton. Altus, 76. We are all very warm. South winds are about 10 to 20. We've had some gusts to 25, and your hour-by-hour forecast will go from the mid-70s to the mid-upper 90s. The heat index today, several degrees warmer than the actual air temperature, and not much in the way of cloud cover. So grab the sunglasses this morning. You'll need them all day. Winds are up. They'll be the strongest about mid-morning, so from about 9 a.m. to about noon today. They'll still be gusty this afternoon, 10 to 20, and that south wind does continue as we head into tonight and tomorrow morning. It peaks, tries to taper back off again tomorrow afternoon. If you are headed to the area lakes to beat the heat, might be a little rough, especially across the main lake areas. Find the coves. Highs today, mid-upper 90s, triple digits in the west, gusty south wind. Heat index 108 to possibly 110, and there'll be a few areas near Tulsa to the north and down to the south where it's always a little hotter due to the vegetation. The heat index there could top 110 again today. As far as rain chances go, minimal in the Texas Panhandle, and in our Panhandle, 20% chance from Woodward to Cheyenne, basically back down to Sayre, and anything that goes up today will try to dissipate overnight tonight. Weak area of low pressure to the south and a big trough to the northwest. They kind of combine over portions of Oklahoma by midweek, giving us a slightly higher chance of rain into your Wednesday and maybe again Thursday night into Friday. Tonight looks pretty quiet, mid-upper 70s, still a gusty south breeze. Tomorrow, here's your Tuesday, upper 90s, triple digits. Tack on the humidity, several degrees hotter for a heat index. And then Wednesday, now these temperatures have come down. Some areas 5 degrees cooler by Wednesday. Not that you're really going to notice it, but not as hot due to increasing clouds and a 20% chance of rain in the afternoon and evening. 40% back into the northwest. Still hot the next several days. 97 Thursday, 97 Friday. Hope to see you Saturday at Bob Mills from 10 to noon. 96 on Sunday, guys, and still upper 90s to start next week. Back to you.
Lacey, thank you. 6:19 on your Monday, and time now to take a look at your top national stories. In California, a man is accused of driving into a post office and setting it on fire. That suspect was later identified as Richard Tillman. His brother was Pat Tillman, who played in the NFL, enlisted in the Army, then was killed in the line of duty. The motive remains under investigation.
Parts of Maryland are cleaning up after a weekend of torrential rain and flash flooding. Over 5 inches of rain fell in D.C. suburbs on Saturday, flooding streets. They look like rivers. Emergency crews rescued dozens of people. Several had to be rescued from their cars, stranded in several feet of high water.
Well, astronomer CEO Andy Byron resigns after that Coldplay Kiss Cam scandal. That's according to a statement from the company. The statement says our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that standard was not met.
Your time now, 6:20. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Gold for the latest on today's traffic. Megan, how are we looking this morning?
Hey, roads are looking great. We do have our crews out on the scene. This is Lex Stanfield. He is out on 235 just south of I-44, ready to respond to any traffic incidents that may occur. But as of right now, he's stationary, not headed to anything, but keeping an eye there on 235 for you. Another view, I-44 at South 29th. That's just to the north and east of the airport. Looking off to the north for those of you that travel both east and westbound on I-44. It looks great. No slowdowns. But of course, the morning drive is picking up. Anywhere that you're headed right now, roads are good to go. No slowdowns and no accidents. There's Broadway Extension. If you're headed southbound into downtown, looks good, and really into the metro from all directions. Good to go. More to come here in a few minutes.
Your Oklahoma Ford dealers and News 9 want you to have a summer of fun. This is your cue to text for your chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Heenan's Home Furnishings. Plus, every winner gets a chance to win a new 2025 Ford Bronco Sport. Text BEAUTIFUL to 79640.
Hey, a big weekend for the News 9 team at the Heartland Emmy Awards right here in Oklahoma City. We wanted to share some of our pictures from the event. News 9 bringing home 13 awards in total. So many talented colleagues here, including those sitting right next to us.
Well, Lacey won for Flavor of Oklahoma, her Emmy Award.
Yeah, you won for your interview with Toby Keith.
Yes, Lisa won for several of her crime stories as well that you've done. How many Emmy Awards did you come away with?
I think 4.
I think 4, yeah.
I lost count because News 9 did so great. Lacey Swope won.
Lacey Swope won. Lace, it was such a great night just celebrating each other.
You know, for the entire station to be honored for all the work that goes into it, for the folks on air, the folks behind the scenes, for the weather team, it's always a great time.
David Payne won for live tornado coverage. You did for a nighttime tornado, Lacey.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. These were all from last year, from 2024, and wild weather, wild news stories, that's for sure. But we're grateful to work with some of the best in the business.
Yes.
That's for sure. Speaking of, guys, check out this picture.
Hey!
Okay, Lacey, I don't even know how you held up your Emmy after this.
Oh
my goodness. This is Keystone Lake. Lacey, tell us the story.
Oh my gosh, we went out and we actually used live scope with our guide, Nick Mefford, and he is so incredible, and he can actually find big ones, and you go after the big ones, and this is snagging, so they don't bite a lure or anything because all they eat is plankton, so you're actually grabbing their bodies and pulling them in. It is like dead weight, Lacey.
You still have to reel it in, though, right?
You do, and it is so hard.
How long did it take?
That's insanity.
I know, and those do live in Oklahoma lakes and rivers.
They do. They don't have teeth, so everyone sees like, I'm never getting in a lake ever again.
Gosh.
They don't have teeth, but congrats to you, and the fish will live to swim another day.
Yeah, we released it right after this.
Good to go.
Yep.
Guys, if you're heading to the area lakes, the winds will be gusty today. Little white capping going on in the main bodies of water. 96 for an afternoon high. I'm tracking additional rain chances, and that is coming up.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 This Morning.
Welcome back and good Monday morning, OKC. Sun's coming up. Another day is dawning, and get out and get that good exercise
look at
going,
that
right?
sun.
Beautiful shot there. This is from our OCCC camera over by the airport, and things looking A-OK there this morning. No wrecks so far this morning. Megan's going to have more on the morning drive. Did you guys have a good weekend?
Had a good weekend, yeah.
We had the Emmy Awards, so that was a great
awesome.
night. Sunday was a great day, but it was hot out there.
It was hot. That beautiful shot we were showing, that's really the only way you want to see outside, in my opinion. It was
from
so hot
inside
yesterday.
looking out. Yeah.
Or if you're near a pool, and Lacey, we're all coming over to your house, okay?
Please, the more the merrier. It's the area lakes. That's what you need to do. The summertime in Oklahoma, you got to find ways to beat the heat. By the way, on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network also, I picked the OCCC cam as the sun is just coming up above the horizon. So right now the hustle and bustle is on. Folks getting out and about, getting the new work week started. Also, what I like in this shot is you can see the pond there at OCCC and the fountain kind of blowing around a little bit. Gusty south winds this morning, and that's what will greet you on the roadways as well. 74 degrees is your current temperature at Will Rogers. It is warm. It's 76 in Edmond, 78 in Guthrie, 77 in Kingfisher, 76 in Pink. It's that time of year where you really feel for folks that their AC isn't working, or maybe they don't have air conditioning, because it can be dangerously hot. You got to check on your friends and family in these types of conditions. It's kind of a heat wave that's building now for the next couple of weeks. On average, this is our warmest and hottest time of the year. Mid-upper 70s is what will greet you all across Oklahoma. South winds 10 to 20, some gusts to 25, and your hour-by-hour forecast from the 70s to the upper 80s quickly. By noon today, 90, 96 by 4 o'clock with a heat index of 103. Now, rain chances do creep in for parts of the state. We have some slightly cooler temperatures, not as hot. Your full 9-day is coming up.
Oklahoma City police say one person is in critical condition from a head-on crash. It happened Saturday night near Northwest 16th and Sarah Road. Officers say 2 cars were involved. No other details have been released. Oklahoma Highway Patrol uncovers this: 16 pounds of meth during a traffic stop on I-40. Troopers say it was pretty easy. The driver voluntarily told them drugs were in the car's trunk. The driver was arrested and booked into jail. That driver's name has not been released.
A Wagner County man is accused of tracking and cloning his ex-girlfriend's phone. Investigators say Wesley Hamilton secretly installed a tracking device in his ex's car, downloaded 8 apps to monitor her real-time location. Deputies also say Hamilton admitted to cloning his ex's phone, which they believe he then used to listen in on phone calls. Investigators say Hamilton texted hundreds of threats, both to his ex and her friends. Switching gears here, 6:33, time now to Take a look at the roadways for that morning commute. Megan Gold's keeping a close watch for us. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Lisa. Hey, roads are looking good. The sun is up now. And of course, the Monday morning hustle, as Lacey mentioned, it is on, getting going here after the weekend. We've got our Lex Stanfield still out on the roadways. He is actually headed to a house fire, and we'll have more information on that coming up here in a few minutes. And I've got another couple of views for you if you are headed out the door right now. Again, the sun is up at 6:33 on your Monday. Broadway extension looks great if you're headed on the south side or headed southbound. On the south side, I-35 South 89 starting to get a little congested for those of you that travel I-35 northbound headed into downtown. As of right now, no accidents, just typical morning congestion. So really anywhere that you're headed right now, no big issues for you. Drive times into Oklahoma City from all directions look good. I'll let you know more about the morning drive here in just a few minutes.
Well, time is running out for Oklahomans who were impacted by the March wildfires. To get help available from FEMA, Director of the Emergency Management David Barnes says there is a conversation also about restructuring FEMA. Since all disasters are local, they do start with a state emergency management, then put in a request to FEMA. That's the way the disaster helps beyond state officials.
I believe we will probably see restructuring, and it could be significant, but I don't see FEMA, or at least the functionality of FEMA, the funding, the support, the coordination, I do not believe that's going to be, quote, going away.
So back on the deadline about getting help. If you were impacted by the March wildfire or the straight line winds, you have until tomorrow to file for FEMA assistance. Oklahoma is seeing a decline of rural veterinarians. More than 80% of our counties have experienced a shortage in the last 5 years. Our Kylie Dedman is looking into the reason why and what it means for livestock.
According to the Farm Journal Foundation, less than a quarter of licensed veterinarians selected domestic cattle as their area of practice. Meanwhile, 76% selected companion animals over livestock. But this is a trend that's been going downhill for decades.
I graduated from Oklahoma State University in 1989, and I think probably since that time there's been a trend of students going more into companion animal practices and not as many graduating veterinarians going into food animal and rural practice.
Dr. Troy Shelby, a cattle producer and current president of the Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association, says producers are dependent on rural veterinary care.
Very frustrating and a scary situation. You know, if you have a cow or an animal in trouble, it's hard to find somebody to come out and especially to come out in the country and do something like that. You know, you can be in a position to where you're just in a real dilemma without a veterinary services.
Dr. Rosalind Briggs, a veterinarian ambassador with the Farm Journal Foundation and a beef and cattle extension specialist at Oklahoma State University, believes the shortage is a multifactorial situation. Aspiring veterinarians face challenges getting accepted to and staying in veterinary school, challenges with rural environments, and lower earning potential and difficulty finding jobs for family members.
This is a highly complicated challenge, and it will take lots of people with lots of different perspectives and long-term commitment to see us in a better place.
Over the next 10 years, more than 600 veterinarians could retire in the state.
A lot of our population of veterinarians has gotten older and wanting to retire, and it doesn't seem like there's young veterinarians wanting to step into places in some of those, especially some of the more isolated rural areas.
In 2023, 5% of OSU's graduating class listed large food animals as their field of practice, and 28% said mixed animals.
We need to have access to quality veterinary care, not only for the health and well-being and of our animals, but also to support our economies of our rural areas. And also, veterinarians are the first line of defense in food safety and public health.
Animal agriculture is one of the leading industries in the Sooner State. Dr. Shelby hopes the industry will be able to persuade more students into going into veterinary school. Reporting, Kylie Dedman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Kylie, thanks so much. And Oklahoma is taking steps to increase veterinary training. In Stillwater, the state is greenlighting $250 million in funds for the construction of new veterinary teaching hospitals.
Oklahoma County commissioners approved $265,000 to repair flood-damaged elevators at the county courthouse. Those elevators were damaged when a pipe broke on the top floor. All the water came trickling down. Right now, only one elevator is working at the county courthouse. If that last one fails, the courthouse will have to shut down until repairs are made.
When it shuts down, Commissioner, we'll have to close the courthouse because we will not be ADA compliant.
So funding is now in place. Commissioners expect the elevators to be repaired the first week of August.
It is 6:38 on our Monday morning, and glad you're waking up with us here on News 9. Got to talk about that hot forecast.
Yeah, let's get over to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lace, how are we shaping up for a Monday?
It's already very humid, guys. Let me show you the shot on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. It is very muggy, it's steamy, and you can literally see that, and it's been that way over the past week or so. There's a shot from our El Reno cam looking at that eastern horizon. Yeah, that's not fog, that's just the humidity that will greet you as you head out. 74 is the temperature at Will Rogers. It's already warm, and temperatures will continue to warm quickly today from the 70s to the 80s, eventually the mid and upper 90s. How high is the heat index? We'll talk about that and much more. Rain chances are going up. It's coming up after this break.
We do want to take you to some breaking news on the southwest side of Oklahoma City. You're looking live right now at the response to a house fire. A lot of firefighters at the scene. This is close to Southwest 40th and I-44, kind of close to Independence Avenue. This call came out as a home fire, and the 911 caller said there's about 12 people that live in this home. So firefighters rushed to the scene. We're not seeing any smoke or active flames, so they may have everything under control. We're trying to get more details, but you can see the ladders are out on almost every side of this two-story home, and we're trying to get more details, see if anyone was injured or did everyone make it out safely. But if you're traveling through that area, kind of a large firefighter presence there at Southwest 40th, very close to I-44. Our crew's getting more information, and we'll bring you an update here in just a moment.
All right, we're talking the weather for today. Already a little humid out there, and it's only going to get worse as the day goes by, Lacey.
The sun is up, so our warming trend has begun. We started off bottoming out in the mid 70s. That was it. So overnight, your ACs are working overtime, and that just continues. We have some not as hot days coming, but that's like a few degrees cooler here and there. The good thing is we're not just on an uphill climb and a trajectory that continues, which is very common as you head towards the end of July and into the beginning of August. That is our hottest time of the year. So the heat index today about 103, similar to yesterday. What just happened? No, don't look. Hold on. Oh, Megan's gonna reset me. You can't see this yet. That's not supposed to happen. I have a panic button. It was kind of like the heat index meteogram. My show's a hot mess, so let's just see how good Megan is. Best of all. You nailed it. Megan for the win, that's for sure. Okay, 99 tomorrow, 98 on Wednesday, triple digits as we head into the next few days. Saturday and Sunday, 103 to 104. And I told you there are a few days that are just not as hot, mainly due to cloud cover and eventually rain chances creeping back in. As far as the lake levels go, we're talking about some lakes that are above average after all the rain for the spring and the beginning of summer. And many of these lakes are still up significantly. You'll remember it was just over a week ago that we had 7 to 8 inches of rain in the Oklahoma City metro. Arcadia Lake is up just about 2 feet. Hefner is about average, and Thunderbird about a foot up. Shawnee Lake 5.7, and then there are many lakes right now where readings aren't coming in, like Eufaula and off towards the east, but Keystone Lake still 15 feet up, Caw 11 feet up. Those are both on the river, of course. Arbuckle 1.7, and we need more rain. We're constantly needing more rain as we head into the summer months. That helps keep those temps down. It keeps the drought at bay. Unfortunately, there are a few locations out west that have gone about a month without rainfall. Talking Hinton, Apache, out near Sayre, and now as we heat up and crank up the humidity, we'll have to start watching for drought to settle on in. The good news is we're going to introduce some rain back into the forecast. Not today. Today, heat index up to 110 in a few spots. The counties in magenta could be even hotter, 110 plus. got to hydrate, got to take it seriously. That's why the advisory is there. On average across the United States, more folks lose their lives to heat and heat exhaustion or heat stroke versus any other weather element. That's why the advisory and warnings are in place all the way up through South Dakota, across the Deep South as far as rain and clouds go, with that stalled boundary across the Midwest, continuing with heavy rain, but that's not making it down into Oklahoma. We're in the mid-upper 70s. We're talking 77 in Woodward, 76 in Stillwater, Ardmore 76. Now the winds are up some this morning. They're a little breezy, so if you are heading to the lakes, might be whitecapping on the main bodies of the water today. Winds 10 to 20. We might see a few gusts to 30 midday. And here's your hour-by-hour forecast. From 75 at 7 to 93 at 1, 96 by 4 o'clock, and it'll feel like about 103. 96 for a high, but triple digits across the west, similar to yesterday. And again, the heat index will be hotter than the air temperature because those dew points are still in the upper 60s and low 70s. It's more humid east of I-35. This afternoon, we'll watch the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles for a few storms to try to take off. Pretty isolated in nature. They should weaken as we head into the evening and overnight hours. We'll watch for that. That's connected to the monsoonal flow. It's the winds coming in over Mexico, over New Mexico, up into Colorado. The heat dome is off to the east. We get a weakness with an area of low pressure for your Wednesday. That means more clouds and rain chances. We'll introduce rain chances Thursday night into Friday. Not likely, not locked in, but it's something. Then the ridge really builds into the weekend. The heat dome settles in for a few days and tries to break down by the middle to end of next week. So we got some highs for sure and some hot temperatures, but we are going to continue with some rain opportunities. Tonight into the 70s, tomorrow mid-upper 90s and triple digits. And there's your chance of rain Wednesday. Right now, the highest chances are in the northwest, and that tries to make it down into the metro Wednesday afternoon and evening. We'll have to watch for severe threats. We'll update you, of course, through the day today. Hot into the big weekend, guys, and upper 90s to start next week. Back to you.
Lacey, thanks so much. Right now, 6:48, time to see how we're doing on the morning drive. We're checking in with meteorologist Megan Gold. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Robin. Roads are still looking great. I-35 is getting a little busy and congested on the south side for those of you that travel northbound into Oklahoma City. I'll show you that here in just a second. Down by the Capitol, 235 at North 13th. Looking up to the north, it looks great for those of you that travel 235 this time of morning. Northwest Expressway, Lake Hefner Parkway with the gorgeous skies here on our Monday morning. Of course, we hope everybody had a great weekend. Here's the view across the metro right now. Got all green on the north side, really into downtown. And then again on the south side, northbound I-35. Those of you that travel from Moore into Oklahoma City, just your normal rush hour congestion. Of course, it'll get a little busier as the morning goes along. There's a look off to the east from our OCCC camera. Your drive times into the metro from all locations. Good to go.
Megan, thanks so much. In southwest Oklahoma City, a woman is rushed to the hospital after she is hit by a driver of the truck on the roadway. This was near Southwest 29th and May Avenue. Police say the woman is going to be okay. They're still trying to figure out what led to the crash. The driver is cooperating.
And a fire breaks out at a laundry business in southeast Oklahoma City. It happened Sunday morning at Magic Services near Southeast 25th and High. Firefighters say since it was the weekend, no one was inside, but due to the chemicals and cleaning supplies, a hazmat team was called to the scene.
So we're monitoring the water from the runoff standpoint, and hazmat will remain on scene to make sure that everything's safe.
Crews are still investigating the cause of that fire. Well, former death row inmate Richard Glossip is set to be back in court this morning. He spent nearly 3 decades on death row for the 1997 murder of Barry Van Treese. Now, earlier this year, the U.S. Supreme Court vacated his first-degree murder conviction due to some errors at trial. Court documents filed just last week now showing there was a potential plea deal. But the state attorney general says a final plea agreement was never reached. Glossip's hearing is set for 10 a.m. We'll be there.
An Oklahoma man arrested and accused of felony animal abuse in Missouri is set to be in court today. Robert Peters is charged with 16 counts of animal abuse in St. Louis. Court filings show he was transporting 16 dogs across the country, but arrived at a crematorium with 4 dead dogs. Well, more dogs were then found in his van in deplorable conditions, as you can see from these photos, leading to his arrest. Peters' hearing is set for 1 p.m. today. Guthrie Public Schools updates its cell phone policy to comply with the state's new bell-to-bell cell phone law. The district says Guthrie students' personal devices must be completely turned off and out of sight the entire school day starting this school year. Exceptions include emergencies and medical needs. All Oklahoma school districts must have plans in place by the start of this new school year.
I'll tell you what, school will be here before you know it. The start of the new year, less than 1 month away. Oklahoma's tax-free weekend is also coming up. It will be August 1st through August 3rd. So the shopping on the tax-free weekend includes shoes and all clothing that cost under $100. School supplies not covered on that tax-free weekend. We're back with more right after this. Glad you're with us on 9.
And we are having the opportunity now to hear from the acting chief at the scene of this house fire down on Southwest 40th and I-44. We want to take a listen.
Residents in that were able to evacuate the home prior to our arrival. There were no injuries on scene. Crews contained the fire to the home of origin. It did not spread to any of the neighboring houses. There were no injuries and nobody was transported. Currently, it is under investigation the cause of this incident.
Nobody hurt? Everything's good? All the firemen are good?
No one hurt. No one was transported.
Anything else need to know about that?
No, sir. Just that upstairs back bedroom, yes, sir.
All right, you
right
are
now
watching
we're still looking into
and
the
listening in from the fire chief there on the scene of that fire off Southwest
Multiple people did
40th,
live
right
there.
near
Right now the count was
I-44. No one hurt. We heard there were people in the home.
He just said 8 people is what they counted. So multiple people and no injuries. That's the best possible outcome this morning.
Yes, so they'll continue investigating that, and our thoughts are glad that the family is okay.
Yeah, and then we've got heat out the door this morning.
Yeah, today the heat advisory is out. It's really across the state, and you'll feel it all across Oklahoma, up to 103 in the metro for a heat index.
Goodness, stay hydrated today.
Don't lose your cool. We'll see you back here after 7.